Oh, Love and Marriage DC fans. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. It was crazy as always. And of course, it ended with Brittany trying to do an intervention behind Little Jamie's back. So I had to get my boy, who's truly been the talk of the town. He's the talk of the season. He is certainly his father's child because LJ will go on Twitter and read Jumper Film. So welcome, Little Jamie Tyler.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up? I mean, LJ, this is a big deal. You are on Reality with the King podcast, my brother.
With the King. Yes. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Mr. Carlos King.
Listen, thank you for being a part of this show. Thank you for showing us your real life. So let's just get right into it because, I mean, where do we start, LJ? Look, when this show first started last season, you and your father and your mom truly opened up the season premiere with talking about where things were in your relationship at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw this amazing conversation between you and your mom at the car dealership. We saw this amazing conversation between you and your dad at the venue.
Yeah.
And then over the course of all last season, we were on this journey, the reunion. We was like, all right, Little Jamie is like, he's on the straight and narrow. And then this season, we're like, oh shoot.
What happened?
What happened? So what happened, LJ, between after we taped the reunion and then we started filming this new season?
So without saying too much, I would say life started lifing. I wouldn't even say the taping of the reunion, everything was peaches and cream. So I was still trying to find, where I wanted to be. And it just so happened when we started taping again, I happened to be in that bad space that I was trying not to be in. And it was just more so still trying to grow up. Season one, we really didn't touch on a lot. I didn't really get that much showtime. So, they didn't really find out what's really like, it was a lot of blanks that was needed to be filled. And this season they got to see, why season one, why was my mom having those conversations? Why was my dad having those conversations? So now it's kind of like you gotta go back now, it makes sense. So yeah, man, it got rough all over again. It was like, right back to square one. And yeah.
Yeah.
Got,
What was going on with you specifically? Obviously, you can't say much because everything's a legal situation.
mm-hmm.
Is it safe to say that did you go back to hanging out in the streets and maybe hanging out with the wrong people again?
Nah, I didn't go back that way. Like, that aspect, I was what I told you, when we talked, I was on forward. It was more so of they're still trying to find like the job career thing and then still bumping heads with my dad. Not more so he right back to going, getting in trouble with the law again, hanging with it wasn't, I canceled that out. That wasn't the case. It was more so um what do you want to do? Like, uh I think I might have lost the job and then was right back to trying to find another job. It was like, damn, that's what we didn't work this far, you didn't got this job and then lost the job. So it was like that battle of trying to stay, consistent working. And then me and my dad still bumping heads with the things he didn't like that I was doing. Wasn't taking care of my responsibilities, that type of stuff. So it was more so that just spiraling up, and then it just it overflowed.
So let me go back a little bit because you made a good point. Obviously, This show, Love and Marriage DC, is about the couples, right? It's about your mom and your dad and their relationship, in addition to the other couples on the show. And we know a lot more about their backstory. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't know a lot about your backstory. So I wanted to talk to you, LJ, because you have been the talk of social media. And I really did want people to know more about you and how things came to be where they are right now, and the hope to help other parents who are dealing with kids that may have been in your same situation. So what we learned this season is that your father was a cop
Mm-hmm.
for almost 25 years or more than that. What was it like being the child of a police officer? And did some of that have to do with you possibly getting into trouble because you were rebelling against that? Was your pops hard on you? Was it difficult because your friends knew?
So to be honest, it would be more so of so I grew up in the area or the era where, we were still saying like F the police and we don't like the police. So to like, kids at my age, well, when I was young, they're what we call down here Joan, they'd talk about you, they'd make fun of you, or your daddy the police, your daddy the police. Like that was a thing where it was like, you was looked at a certain way because they parents wasn't the police or they was getting in trouble. So early on, people, hated the police. Probably because of what they was doing at a young age, which made them hate the police. But I know at one point back when, remember career day, you could bring your parents to school, he would come to school and it was cool, but that was back in elementary, when the minds was just young. It was, we love the police, they always there to help us, we don't know nothing about what they really doing to us. So that mind, middle school is when you start to learn like the type of, behaviors they was doing, and it's a whole with the police thing. So that was already a challenge. And then
Did you have friends, LJ? Did you have friends who used to disrespect you because your father was a cop,
mm,
or just guys in school or in the neighborhood?
Nah, nah, I wouldn't say never disrespect, but it was more so of we don't care that he the police.
Mm.
So it's not like the fear of, oh, his father the police, let's act a certain way or let's not do this. They didn't care. It wasn't the fear of his dad the police because one, he never portrayed or acted or came around like the police. He didn't wear a uniform around the house or in the neighborhood. Like he was always in a suit. As far as I can remember, he hid it, so it wasn't like, I don't know, never brought the cop car home, so it wasn't like the house. Everybody in the neighborhood knew this was the police house. It was like not a secret, but it wasn't all exposed. So
Mm.
they only knew if I told them, or like parent teacher conferences. He's always been a part of those. So I always had to deal with, him being available because he definitely, as much as busy he was on a job, if he needed to come up to the school, he was on the way. So, that growing up, I always had my father sitting in my class when I get in trouble. Like I had that parent, That's what was crazy though, because Carlos, I'm thinking about it. How was I letting my grades slip? How was I still getting in trouble with a father heavily active with the school? Like all the teachers had his number, the principal had his number, the janitors had his number, the gym teachers had his number. How was I still, But it was crazy because I couldn't get away with nothing. If I'm skipping in the hallway, it was a teacher that called him, and before I even got home, he knew.
Mm.
Or I'm late to the first period class. They calling saying your son is late to school, but how he got on the bus? It was like, I don't know. I just was. Everybody around me was bad. Like I don't know. It was crazy because I was just having this conversation with him yesterday. I was like, now that I'm seeing it as a adult with a different mindset, I'm like, I must have had a poor choice at picking friends, but those friends were considered cool, like the ones that was sagging their pants young and cutting class young and wanting to get high, skip school. Like I don't know why, but that was the cool. That was the cool. If you was in class on time, you was wearing a belt. If you was riding a bus. Riding a bus even got, not cool. That was if you ain't got a
Yes.
yeah, if you ain't got a ride to school, you not cool. If you on the school bus, you getting off the school bus. He's a lame, he's a dork, he's not cool. So it was like we was so like the mind just was so terrible. Like we just thought I thought I just had life fucked up, Con.
No, and listen, I want to say this to you because you're obviously, this is a very important conversation, LJ, because I want my listeners who are majority parents, especially in the Black community, to listen to this.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, a lot of kids aren't able to have this type of conversation with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said, because obviously I'm twice your age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything you just said, I experienced as a Black boy in Detroit in my teenage years. It wasn't cool to catch the bus. It wasn't cool to wear a belt. All the stuff you're saying to me, I'm remembering these things. It wasn't cool to be smart, to be respectful to your teachers and all of that stuff. And the reason why I'm so happy, LJ, we're having this conversation is because I was once you and my brothers was once you, right? And I don't want you to blame yourself because we've all done it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went through this phase, which may sound crazy to everybody. I went through this phase of trying to be like the cool guys in middle school, because middle school is that puberty stage of 12, 13, 14. Your mind is effed up because you don't know. You're cool in elementary school. You don't
Right.
mind. Everyone has the same mindset. It's the moment as a Black boy
Yeah.
in middle school, you start hanging out with the wrong crowd because you think the wrong crowd is the in crowd.
Yeah.
And your parents, like you said, your father was there at the house. He was there every day. It doesn't mean that your child isn't going to make poor choices,
Right.
because what people don't know as a Black boy is it's all about survival
Mm-hmm.
when you are in school, because everything you're trying to do when you're around that age, you're just trying to survive from day to day.
Yeah. Or fit in.
Fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the stuff that you were going through at that time, because obviously what I found so interesting is the fact that your father was a cop and the fact that your mom was at home.
Mm-hmm.
But that still meant that you wanted to do what you wanted to do at that age. But talk to us about how your choices as a teenage boy affected you the moment you became an adult being over 21.
So, I would say those choices as far as like being irresponsible with like I was doing stuff like I was taking the report cards that they sent home. I was making copies of them. I would go on the computer, change my Carlos. One thing that a lot of people don't know, I'm real tech savvy, which is why I don't know why I haven't dived into the IT world, because at a young age in middle school, like that's when my grades started falling. So I know it's middle school, sixth grade. I'm copying the report card they sent home. And before my parents get home, I didn't change all the grades to grades they would expect me to get. I was doing stuff like that. They gonna find out now, but they already
Ah!
hey look, I
So
was
wait,
really
so wait. This is an exclusive. They're finding out right now you did that, LJ.
they finding that out right now. I was doing stuff like that. So it's like at a young age, I really had this, I don't know, a mind to just do the opposite of what was expected, which was crazy. But I wasn't like the worst kid. Like my first situation I got, you know, I dealt with the law was, I was told by two other friends, let's go to this vacant house and let's order a bunch of carry out. And our young minds, we knew that carry out delivery guys carried a lot of money because they had to make change. So I'm in the house playing the game. I asked my mother, can I go outside? No. I asked my dad, can I go outside? The one time he said, yeah. The one time he said, yeah, I got locked, I got in trouble. So, you know, that just, led to, you know, coming back to school from getting, in school when it happened, I was still in school. They coming back, people finding out like, oh, y'all got locked up. So it was like another thing. I felt cool. I felt cool that I just got handcuffed yesterday and just had to sleep on the floor yesterday. Like father took my mat, he took my bed, TV, everything. So I slept on the floor for a while, on punishment. But I don't know why that still felt cool to me. It didn't scare me like it was supposed to. That I got in trouble. It was like I didn't change from there. I don't know psychological part behind that, but it wasn't like that wasn't my wake up call. I felt like that wasn't, enough to make me turn the corner. And then eventually I graduated high school. After high school, I still was around the wrong people and wanting to do. It was like it seemed like once I graduated high school, everybody was doing the same thing. People that I haven't heard from since what prom graduation, checking on them, they doing the same thing. So it was like I cannot escape this. And what I'm talking about is, doing illegal hand-to-hand activities, with illegal narcotics, stuff like that. So it was like, how can I escape this when it seems like everybody is doing this? Everybody, if they not doing that, they doing that. So it was like, how can I escape this? So, that's pretty much where it was at. Like the environment, everything around me was just like the same. The getaway thing, my dad wanted me to, get into the army, get away, go away for a few years. And I tried it. I took the ASVAB like twice, failed both times. I hated math. So I got discouraged, got away from that. And then from there it was like trying to find different trades. And I always knew I didn't want to be like a hard working man where, I come home, my back hurt and stuff like that. But I was
Mm-hmm.
always tech savvy. Like I love computers, I love electronics. You could get a brand new car today that I've never even seen or heard of, but I could work it for you and set up everything. It's like it comes to me natural. I don't know what it is. So,
It's
you
called
know,
a gift, LJ. You're gifted.
yeah, so
You're gifted.
I think that's really what it is. I was always tech savvy. Me talking to you right now, I'm telling myself like, why are you not doing something in that field? It's so easy to me. But that's
Well, I want to say this to you. It's never too late.
never.
You're listen. You are still young, and my hope for you is the fact that with this exposure you have being on television, you're able to meet a lot of different people like myself and my team, right? But that we can also help you, this young black man, to who really wants to just get life right. And that's why I had to say to you, I want you not to diminish your talent. You're gifted in the sense of being in tech. We need more black men in tech.
Hmm.
It's 0.2% of black folks in tech in general. And I want you to be able to do that. Because again, everybody makes mistakes.
Yes.
And being a black boy in America is difficult. Being a black man in America is very difficult, but it doesn't mean that you have to be a product of your environment. And that's why I'm so touched by your story, because I have family members who watch the show.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say this to you without crying. But you changed, and this I'm telling the truth. Somebody in my family had a conversation with their husband, and her husband doesn't watch the show, but she played the scene between you and your dad.
Mhm.
And because of that, they started making better choices when it came to their son, who's the same age as you, another black guy, same age as you. Long story short, you changed the way they deal with him, and I'm happy to report that he now is on the straight and narrow
Wow.
because they watched you and your dad and your mom deal with this. And I've always said this to your parents. This is going to change lives. And I want the world to know that someone in my family watched this show and
Wow.
it changed the way she dealt with her son, who's y'all age. And I spoke to her this morning, and he got a job and he got a new house. And he's just, because they started to make different choices. So, what I want to ask you, which is a very important question, is what advice can you give parents whose children may have been in the same situation you were in your teenage years? What advice would you give them in terms of how to handle that and deal with it?
What advice I would give parents? You can't give up. Um, it was a million times where I thought my dad was done. Like I'm talking about, I didn't see my room get packed up in bags, trash bags. Like, like go find where you like go back. Like I'm talking about done. Change the locks. Like so, and still is right here on my, on my hip. So it was like is parents just y'all gotta stay on y'all kids, but not too much, cause too much gonna make it, seem like you treating us like a kid still. And we want, as much as we y'all kids, we still want to feel and feel like we grown. Um, but man, to be honest, Carlos, man, he saved me. Like I wouldn't even, I wouldn't even have what the job I got now. I wouldn't even probably be here, Carlos, if it weren't for my father and his tough love, which I didn't understand at the young age. I hated it, like hated it. And I know every kid be like, I wish my parents, I hate them. I want them to, but it's like, man, if he wasn't tough on me and just on me, I would not be here, Carlos, for real, man. So y'all gotta not ever, ever, ever try to give up on them, because they gonna get it eventually. And if they don't, that's on them. But I feel like everyone around my age bracket is gonna eventually get it, because we have that fear of them 30s creeping up on us, and it's a whole stigma with still being 30, living at home. Like, and it's a lot of pressure on us. Parents, y'all gotta understand, we got our own pressures and daily, everyday things that just make us feel like we either behind or forward. So with me, I would always get caught up in this whole Instagram gratification, just the everybody looking like they lit and getting it. But it's not like that. And once you start getting that in your head, you're gonna realize that move at your own pace. And I'm looking at myself while I'm talking to you, Carlos, because I be still have to tell myself this, like,
Me
you
too.
okay, so
No, listen. Not to cut you off anything, LJ, but that's why it's important that you and I are talking, two black men from two different generations. You're in your 20s. Let's just say I'm older than that. So, because but I am at my age. Listen, I'm the king of reality TV. I got all this stuff going on.
well,
I I'll go there. I was saying that to say I still get impacted by what I see on social. Like well, damn, should I be on Delta or should I be on the PJ? Should I look how much it costs to fly a private jet? Everyone else is doing it. Is it that expensive? I got money, so does that mean I need to like get two cars because my counterpart's got a sports car and a truck? Should I do that? So I'm telling you that in your 26-year-old mind, we're all still going through that. And what's interesting, LJ, is this. Listen, I'm happy that at your age, you're seeing that, because unfortunately, there's people my age and older that I know personally, LJ, who are broke because they're trying to keep up with what they're seeing on social media that I know ain't real. I know people who take fake photos of them on vacation on the PJ. I know people who take pictures with celebrities like they're at these parties when they're photoshopping it, or when they sneak and be like, "Yo, what up, Jay?" and do this real quick, and you're like, "Oh, they at the Rock Nation brunch."
Yeah,
It's all fake. The reason why people love you, your mom, and your pops is because y'all exemplify realness.
yeah.
Y'all do.
And I didn't realize how much people was dealing with the same exact thing. Like I knew that, I knew a bunch of guys, my age that was sort of cutting up doing the stuff that I was doing, but got mother and father at the house wondering like why you can't get it together. It's like you got a mother and father just like me, and you doing what I'm doing. Like, what's up? Like, I'm trying to figure out where do we go wrong, but we don't feel like I don't. It's so weird. But what growing up, come being wise. So I became so much wiser, Carlos. Like I'm not who I was on that reunion couch season one. I'm not even the same person from season one. Like just how I, articulate, conversation, how I, address situations, how I handle, adversity, how I deal with pressure now, it's all a little different. And I could tell I'm elevating my mind because I stay around the right people. Um, I hang around my dad all the time. I don't have no problem. Me and him, we talk for hours. We never. I would always feel like I couldn't never talk to my dad, and I was always either too scared to say too much, or it was just like a judgmental thing where I can't be me.
Yeah.
And I get that there's certain things that I may be into that he's not into, which keeps us separated. And I feel like that's always been, that separation from all the way being together. He smokes cigars. I might not like cigars, so we can't connect there. So it's a thing where I'm still speaking to my parents where you might gotta find something that y'all can meet in the middle with.
Yes.
Bonding is definitely key to the son or relationship with the child and the parents. Bonding, you got to find a way to bond. So I try to me and him, we like basketball, so we go to Wizards game. We might sip a little bit, then cut up and laugh and jokes, and then it's like the next day, it's like, wow, I just was laughing and having a good time with my dad. Like that's those special moments, parents, where you gotta just meet in the middle with your child, and your child will appreciate it. Because I'd have been in so many Wizards games that met so many players, but each one with him, it's like a whole new breath. It's a new feeling, and it feels good.
No, it
Like,
does, and I'm happy to hear that, because I know that you two have had a back and forth, and we're seeing that
yeah,
this season. What we saw in the last episode that I know you tweeted about, and you saw for the first time in last week's episode, when your father was like, he ain't gonna hurt himself, he a bum, and
mhm.
all that stuff. And when you saw that scene for the first time, how did it make you feel to see that?
To be honest, Carlos, when it came out, which was last Saturday, I didn't watch it. Because I've been hearing the worst things ever in my life from him. So to hear it and like just it's almost triggering. It's like I think we was actually downstairs watching it together, and right before that scene came on, I went to my room, and he didn't ever say like, "Lil Jamie, come back," or where you go?" It was just like I knew that part was coming up, and I just didn't want to hear it. So imagine being okay. When did I would say like 14, maybe 13, 14, hearing that exact same thing, but growing up in a young mind, it makes you want to be rebellious. I just put it like this, Carlos. So if I got my report card Thursday and I go to school Friday with that on my mind, hearing you this and you never gonna be nothing, you a bum, you it man, my father. I ain't going home. I might have said I want to be a NIGGA. I want to miss school. I want to be late. It just make you. It's like it just turned me into like a evil, like a just want to do bad because of how he would always not blame. I ain't gonna. I'm not saying I'm blaming him for nothing, but
Right.
the way he used to talk about me or talk to me and all that, it definitely made me like not want to do better. That was not the right way to ever like, he really damaged me with that to the point where I couldn't even watch it and hear it all over again as an adult. So
Mm.
that played a major part in a whole lot of my rebellious activities. The just the how he would just talk. I didn't heard some work. I didn't heard the worst things, the worst. Like, man, that man, and he'd tell me like, man, it's tough love, but I never understood it. How can you just tell me that and call me that and you love me? That ain't never. I never understood it, but I'm still here, and things are so much better. I guess whatever it worked or not. I don't know, but
No, listen, it's what you listen, what you're saying is so powerful to me because there's no instruction manual that you give a parent to take care of their kids or raise their kids the right or the wrong way. Um, your father being a black man,
mhm,
right, and being a cop at that, is disciplining you with the way he think is best.
yeah,
And by like you said, like calling you out your name and just being like super tough on you, not knowing that you're actually making things worse.
indeed,
And I'm happy you said that because as parents are watching this, I want them to learn that calling your child out the name in your anger, whether it's a bum or you ain't gonna be whatever. And listen, I've experienced all that in my childhood, so that's why I want people to know it's not isolated just to your situation. I'm a great man because of my father as well, because he didn't let up. He was like, like, oh my God,
yeah,
but that's what he figured would work. But in my adulthood, at 33 years old, this is years ago, when I was 33, I had a one-on-one convo with my dad, and I said, "Look, some of the stuff you did to me as a kid affected me." And we
mhm,
started crying, and he apologized. He said, "Oh, I didn't know." And I'm like, "Of course, because you're not me." So
mhm.
I understand what you're saying, and I think right now you're changing lives too, because you're letting parents know if you have a child that may be rebellious, being that tough is going to make it worse for them.
I was
And
he did not want me to be Carlos. I turned into what he has to go deal with when he is on a job. I turned
mm,
into that guy. Literally. Like from carrying to stashing to moving around like a real criminal. Like I was full on because I mean, you didn't call me all these names. Now I'm just gonna be that. And
yeah.
I really had in my mind I was gonna be that, and that's what it was. Like that's really how my mind was because I mean, that's pretty much how it was like perceived. Like this is what you are.
Yeah.
You know, I started literally. turning into everything that he was afraid that I was gonna be. And it's a lot of things that he doesn't even know. Like the fans to see, seeing when we was in Southeast. In his mind, he don't even know that I've been over here before, but I've been over here and I know people over here, like stuff like that. Like, you know, it was it yeah, it
Yeah.
was it was like that.
Yeah. And listen, don't feel bad because Ashley Silva, who's I think 36, 37, we saw in last week's episode, um, she at her grown age being a girl at the time, now she's a woman, having a convo with her mom. And her mom said, well, you were bad. And
Mm-hmm.
even Ashley in her 30s had that reaction like, well, you were bad too. Like, even so I'm saying to you, brother, we all get it. And we've all been through it. And we just want to encourage you to continue to be on the straight and narrow because you are going to become everything you want it to be because you allowing the world to see your pain is going to be purposeful in someone's life. Even when and this is something else that happened in the premiere episode, you know, there was a scene between Ash and Quicksilver, and even he called you a bad kid in his description of what was going on. You went on Twitter because you are your father's child. Big Jamie and Little Jamie will go on the Twitter and make sure that they express themselves. So you went, we don't have to repeat it, but you went on a whole rant against Quick. I'm not gonna give anything away, but I did say on my podcast last week that y'all talk about it on camera this season, so keep watching. Y'all gonna see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what was it about that conversation that made you mad to the point where you went on Twitter against Quick, who we saw actually, you know, loves you and tries to help you?
Right, right. So what just disappointed me was you know, how he grew up and how he had explained his life was at 15 compared to my 15-year-old life wasn't the same. And it was the simple fact of using me as a, this scenario, I was in that conversation where I felt like he could have used himself, meaning he could have compared himself to his son's life, because me and my dad, we don't say, well, um well, quick son is whatever. We just don't, we don't even talk about nobody else's kids. That's just what we don't even move like that over here. So there's Silver's children and never be brought up. I don't care who, my dad trying to make a point, or he just wouldn't use, that situation. If anything, he'd say, well, Quick got, this done to him and that done to him. You don't want to end up like that. He's not gonna say, well, Lord Quick, that happened to him, and I don't want that. So using me in that scenario with the situation with him and Ash talking about me, I feel like I didn't have to be used in that, because now it's just more. I'm hearing it now, as an adult from someone else who sort of really doesn't know me and didn't know me at that time of my life, can really say that I was a bad child, because I really wasn't. Like I wasn't, definitely wasn't doing none of the stuff I was doing in my 20s. I was a late bloomer. I jumped off the, what they say, jumped off the porch late. Like, if you was 15 getting shot and stabbed, you was in the streets. Like, you was in there knee deep. I waited till I graduated high school to want to do stuff people was doing at, back then. Man, I'm gonna be the first one to say it. I was trying to fake it till I make it. I was not no, I wasn't what I really was portrayed as.
Yeah.
Between me and you, like, nah. So, at 15, Quick, you was getting what done to you? So I'm like, how can he really sit and, like, use me as this bad, example of what he doesn't want his son to be like, when I wasn't even like the worst of the worst. Quick, you could have used yourself in that analogy. Like, I don't want him to be nothing like me. Ash. I got shot Ash. I got stabbed Ash at 15. I don't want quick Lil Smooth to be nothing like me. That that would have I would have been watching like, wow, like I know what he been through. I don't want his son to be like that. But then he said, Lil Jamie don't be not still living at home with his parents. It's like, huh? For one, my parents have never, never, never wanted to give me the boot unless it was because of something I did. They've always told me stay in here as long as you want and stack your bread to the ceiling till it can't stack no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I always knew that I didn't feel wrong or feel like I was behind because I'm still living at home. They never made me feel like, you know, uh it's about that time you need to start thinking about they never ever gave me that talk or wanting to be like, it's about that time you gotta start thinking about what you want. Stack your bread, and then when you're ready, let's go ahead and make that move so we can get you about it. We're gonna help you. That's how we live over here, the Tylers. They full on like, when you ready, when you got your little, your money saved up, we're gonna help you and get you about it. It's not like I'm behind in society eyes. I may be behind, but I don't feel like at 26 I need to be rushing to move in no damn house because I don't got
No.
no. I ain't like. What you think, Carlos? You talk to me. Am I? Am I? What's up?
No, listen, LJ, at 25 years old, I was an intern at BET. At
That's
25,
that's major.
right? While other people are like, oh, I got a corporate job. I'm making money.
Yeah.
So I'm like you, I was a late bloomer. So at 25, a lot of people graduated from college, they're
Yeah.
in their career. I was 25 years old, LJ. I was still in college. I was an intern, so I wasn't getting paid. And I had a job at a retail store. And it wasn't until I hit like 30
Mm-hmm.
that I started to see some movement in my pockets and in my life. It wasn't, and at that time at 25, I was living with my sister and her best friend. I had roommates. It was the
Oh.
three of us in a 2 bedroom apartment because I couldn't afford to live by myself. So don't rush your timetable. Your
Mm-hmm.
timetable, LJ, is is molded for you. If
Right.
I would have given up at 25, because all my friends had a paying job.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're embarrassed because you like, well, damn, my friend over here got this job, and I'm still a freaking intern.
Right.
If I would have given up thinking life was over at 25, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. So my
Mm-hmm.
advice to you is take things at your own pace because God created all of us to have our own journey. And my brother, at 25, 26, 27, you are just getting started. You're just getting started. Listen, you on a hit TV show.
Don't say too much.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you doing better than me, boss. Like, you're on a hit TV show. And at the end of the day, I will say this. Before I let you go, I do want to say this to you. I love you, my brother,
Love you too.
because you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is this, it's not easy to share your life on TV,
Nah, it's not.
especially when you feel like my mom and dad signed up for this. I really didn't. So I never want anyone to think, or you to think, and I know you don't, but I never want anyone to think that I don't appreciate what you have given to this show and
Mm-hmm.
what you continue to give to the show, because there's a lot more happening this season that we're
Yeah.
not going to spoil because we still want people to watch, which is why I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll save the rest of my questions for the reunion because, yes, LJ will be at the reunion. Oh, he's coming to the
Oh,
reunion.
I'll do you this time, Carlos. I know you got it next time, but I might have to come for you this time. Yeah. Yeah.
You, like I said, you are your father's child because me and your pops got competition on the suits, and he be good, but
Yeah.
I want you, I want you to beat the both of us.
I got you. I got you.
Yes. So no, look, I'm so proud of you
Thank you.
because I know that you are on the right path. Like I said, I want people to watch because I want them to see the journey with you and your life, with you and your pops.
Mm-hmm.
There's still more to come. But explain to the viewers, LJ, what they can expect from the rest of the season.
So the rest of this season, I would say no more tears. If any, happy tears. Um, a lot of good times to come. Excuse me. A lot of good times to come as far as family. More of things to clap for. More things to be happy for. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot that I want to just change that narrative. That's the main thing, just, changing that whole trajectory that I had to begin with. And, just showing that, with the help of my family, just, this whole, just everybody has to stay, nobody wins when the family feuds. We all stick together, it's gonna all pay off. And like you'll see, keep watching. My family never leaves my side, and that's the most beautiful part ever. And for that, I'm gonna keep winning.
And my brother, you are winning. And next week, you guys get to watch the continuation of your sister Brittany stepping in. And when I say to you
Woo!
guys, when I say to y'all that family intervention, that's what Brittany called it.
Woo!
Right? It goes deep and it's powerful because it's what LJ said. You see a black family who just they're not going to give up and they're going to have these tough conversations. And I know you said no more tears, but there's a couple more tears next week. just a just a
Oh,
couple.
drive yet? Don't drive yet.
Yeah. But it's a wow, it's a powerful scene of parents and siblings and Mama T.
Yeah.
It's real, and I can't thank y'all enough. So LJ, you have a lot of fans, a lot of female fans. So where can they? Well, they want me to ask you this: Are you
Uh,
single, or you don't have to answer? You don't want to.
so now I have a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So he's off the market, ladies.
yeah.
So
Y'all gotta stay on my DM. She don't like that. She don't. She know that I'm this big star or whatever people keep calling me. I don't think so, but she doesn't like that. You guys, you can stop.
wait. The girls be on DMs, Jamie. Oh, they be. Ah! Wait. I gotta know this part. Do they be women your mama age?
You order something. Those the ones.
They be like, baby, let me feed you. You can stay with me, baby. I'll take care of you.
Look, oh my! When that first one, they was like, you don't need to work. I got you. You need a car? They don't want to buy you a car. I got you. Yes.
Now, you look here, Love and Marriage fans. Listen, I love my fans, I love the viewers, but y'all gonna leave Lil Jamie alone. He is 26 years old, just trying to live his best life. Y'all about to rob this man of his youth, child.
Best life.
Damn! Listen, all the ladies slide into Jason's DM.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a single, our
yeah,
brother Jason. He's a single
yeah.
one.
Yes. There you go. There you go.
Gosh.
Jason is alive, well, and single, and ready to mingle. Like ready.
Yes,
Hey, on apartment, so you might get invited over. He like chicken tenders and fries, so he easy. He easy. He easy.
I love it. And yes, he's Al B. Shore Jr. And by
Yep.
the way, Al B. Shore, thank you so much for supporting the show, watching the
We
show.
love you. We love you. We love you, champ.
You are an R&B legend. We love you, Al B. Shore. So, right. So, you know what? I always ask my guests where people can find you, follow you. I'm scared to do that because I don't want these women to be in your DMs. But look, I got to ask you anyway. LJ, where can listen, older ladies, get on my man's DMs now, child. He's taken. All right. Where can they find you and follow you and support you, LJ?
So I'm gonna say I'm speaking to business owners, modeling establishment, photographers, people that could put me in a much, much higher position with my future passions, such as acting and modeling, and maybe IT on the side. I'm talking to you. You can find me on Instagram, LIL Lil Jamie IV. I'm the fourth. Twitter, LIL JAMIE IV. TikTok, the real James IV. And that's it. You all have an amazing day. Love and Marriage DC, 8 p.m. Saturday.
Big Jamie, you did a wonderful job with this one. What I said, y'all love you, brother. All right, you heard LJ. Every Saturday, Love and Marriage DC, 8 o'clock, 7 Central on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification button. And we'll see y'all next week.